You already know what it is. Geeked out. It's your boy Chance.
Yo, what up, Geeked Out? It's your favorite Rebel Rook in the building.
It's Doughboy Fresh, aka Fresh Daily, aka DBF Baby. Please say the baby.
You are now tuned in
to Geeked Out. Same pod. Same squad.
You already know what it is. Boy Chance. Got the beautiful and talented Miss Jeanine Flynn. Now, I'm not really great at reading things, so bear with me. But, quick backstory. She co-stars on this week's episode of Severance, opposite of Patricia Arquette. Currently has 2 projects airing on Apple TV. She also plays Mad Marla in the psychological thriller Candlewood, and she's appeared on multiple films and TV shows. And also, she is an award-winning filmmaker. So, give it up.
Hi everyone.
So, how I started off is first, hello. Even though we did this pre-production, but hello. It's great to see you after so long. We'll get there too. But tell the people something real quick, I guess, if you want to say hello, and then we'll get into the story.
Okay. Hi everyone. I haven't done one of these in a really long time. So
Hey, we're all family.
actually I did one of these. I made a film during the pandemic. We shot it all remotely. So it was all on Zoom.
You did it remotely?
Well, the thing is, I wrote a script.
Mhm.
During the pandemic, a lot of 12-step meetings moved on to Zoom.
Okay.
Like AA, NA, Al-Anon, all of them. So they moved to Zoom. So I made a farce, like a short film called Emma Z, and it was an Amazon Anonymous meeting as opposed to, so it was AA, but it was Amazon Anonymous because so many people became addicted to Amazon.
Yeah, they did.
So I did like it was a comedy, like a short comedy about, So we ended up, because it was during the pandemic and it was because it was Zoom anyway, we shot it on Zoom, and then I sent all my actors little tripods, and so they could film themselves while we shot, so we would have better for when we did editing, the pixelation is better.
Did you get the tripods back?
No, I gave them tripods. It was fine.
No, I was asking because those are such good gifts.
So they're actually, especially for actors. So
Yeah, like if you're doing
and I
like
ended up
content.
doing a podcast about it. Somebody asked me to be on the podcast about it.
Yeah, like if you do content, those are really good tripods.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, so I know we said this pre-production. So we met on Law and Order.
We met like a million years ago. I feel like the last time I saw you, we were in a catering tent
Probably.
in the rain somewhere in New Jersey. But I think we met like, I don't know how many years ago on Law and Order.
Well, Law and Order was forever for me, so
I think it was SVU because I didn't do the mothership a lot.
yeah. I only did SVU.
Yeah, I used to stand in, like, I don't know, over 15 years ago, I used to stand in for kids a lot.
I was about to say SVU for me was, yeah, we're talking like maybe 20-ish. Like,
Yeah.
bro, that forever ago. I told that story with Jess too about my first days, but yeah.
Yeah, and then I eventually actually booked a role during the pandemic, actually, the end of 2020 on it. So
I'm so surprised that they're still on.
oh yeah, people love that. People love
You,
Marissa.
you know
She's
what's
amazing.
crazy? Well, I had an experience with Marissa, but that's for another time. But you know what's crazy is I always tell my mom, I was like, Stabler's gonna come back. And she was like, you're wishing for no reason. He's not coming back. I was like, no, he's gonna come back. And then he ended up coming back and doing his own show. And what's crazy is I started watching it and then I forgot what happened. So I had to go back because I see like it's a whole thing now.
Oh yeah.
So
But
I had
he's
to,
Chris Maloney. Yeah, he's another one. People
no,
love him.
no, I liked him on set. Him and Ice-T were pleasant. But
Really nice.
I'll leave it there. But those were good times. Um, what else was I gonna Man, it's so long ago, 20 years ago. Forever ago. All right, so what what started your journey? Like, how old were you when you were like, you know what, I think this is what I want to do? Did you start?
Okay. I just wanted to take a look at something. So give me a second, I'll show you something.
Okay.
Can you see this?
Somewhat because of
Uh,
the blur, but I can kind of see.
see that?
Yeah.
Okay. So Johnson, here we
Oh,
go.
okay. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Johnson Johnson. Okay.
That's me.
No way.
Yeah,
That is so cool.
that's me. So that's how my journey started.
That's cool for so many reasons. One, the journey, and two, because I remember Johnson and Johnson,
Yeah.
and three, so that means you're pretty much like a child actress.
Yeah, I modeled a lot as a baby. I did that. I was on a lot of their products, and then I remember being in kindergarten. I must have been about 3, 4. Um, I started doing national commercials. So that's how I joined SAG. I was in a Kodak Christmas Kodak. I'm really aging myself too.
I
So
remember Kodak. Yeah.
it was a commercial back when they had those Instamatic cameras, those little ones.
Mm-hmm. Those are so
And
cool though.
it was a Christmas commercial. I loved those cameras. I loved having
Hmm.
my camera when I was a kid. It was a Christmas commercial, and I remember, I remember like things like being really small and like being woken up at like, and it was still it's still being dark, and me saying like it's nighttime, and they're like, no, no, we have to go.
Yeah.
And like just like moments like that, or when that Christmas commercial. So the Christmas commercial got me Taft-Hartley, and that's how I got into the union. So I
Mm.
actually couldn't read at that point. I was only, I think, 4. And so, they just fed me my lines. Um,
That's
so
amazing.
yeah. And I was like this because when I was a little girl, I had these little ponytails, and my hair was just a hot mess, like all the time. And when I would wake up, there'd be like a ponytail on my head and a ponytail over here. And it was like I just looked like a wreck. And so when the the commercial we were shooting was like Christmas morning,
Hmm.
and you come down the stairs. So the hair HMU like is their hair is doing my hair, and I'm having an argument with the person trying to tell them that this is not how I wake up in the morning. That this
Yeah.
is not what my hair looks like. So I think I was like a method actor from like way back because I
Hmm.
was this is not real, and they were like, "Don't worry about it, it's fine." So I did a bunch of commercials. I did that. I did Lift and Soup. I did Allstate. They wanted me for Edge of Night, which was a soap opera at the time.
Yeah.
But my mother was pregnant with my sister, and my father had started his career changed, and he started doing better. And we ended up and I missed school. I actually really missed going to school. I like and all my friends, and I remember they had read Charlotte's Web, and I was very like heartbroken that I missed it. So, um, we just stopped, and we moved up to Westchester, and but I just always knew that that's. I remember being in Catholic school when we were still living in the Bronx, and they would have you draw like it was like all that brown construction paper, and you
Hmm.
had to draw yourself, and then you had to take a picture like from a magazine of what you wanted to be.
Yeah.
And when I was growing up, there was like teacher, uh, it was like teacher and nurse and stewardess were like the 3 things
Yeah.
that women were really given the option to be. And I didn't want to be any of those things. What I wanted to do is I wanted to do what Judy Garland did. She was my hero, and or like what Cher did. But I didn't know there was a word for it. I didn't know I was actually doing that. I didn't know I was actually an actor at
Yeah.
the time. I had been doing that stuff. And so I think I put a picture of a model up there. And but I just always knew. I just always knew, and I did plays and was in camps, and and then did shows in high school. And I mean, I went to school, I went to Tisch.
So
So
you kind of early had like an early vision board.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I was doing what I wanted to. Like I said, like I didn't really put together commercials and being an actor at the time, so I didn't really know that that's what I was doing. But we would put on shows as kids,
Yeah.
as always. But I always knew, and I actually was really surprised when everyone was getting ready in high school to like make their majors and go to college, that most of my friends didn't know what they wanted to do. I just
Mhm.
assumed everyone did because I knew.
Yeah.
So I don't know, You want to, I kind of feel like it chose me. Like it
Oh,
was a call,
that's the
you know.
answer. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
So
great that you were able to start so early. I mean, I don't know how that transition, like during life, like you said, like because you feel like you miss out, like the FOMO. You feel like, oh, I didn't really get to do this or do that. But to hit your journey early, like that's amazing. But I feel what you're saying because last interview, y'all can go check that out if you want to. I told her, I said, like when I was little, I used to, even though I wanted to like do a little bit of acting, but mostly music rap, I used to run around with my Michael Jackson glove, like in front of my mom's guests and stuff. So I knew I didn't get there till way later, but I always knew, and I always, I always like try to be funny with my kids, but they think that I'm trying to brag. But I always tell them like I knew in high school what I wanted to be. Like I literally told people, and it came true. Like because you know how everyone says, "Oh, I'm going to do this," and then they do something totally different. I was like,
mhm,
no, I knew that I didn't want to do 9 to 5. Like I knew exactly what I wanted to do.
right.
But it's great. I mean, Johnson, like
Well,
that's wild. So
it's yeah, yeah.
that's great.
Yeah, it's like a double-edged,
Yeah,
double-edged sword. It's wonderful that it's sometimes the fact that it's such a challenging,
it
you
is.
know, it's such a challenging industry and it haunts me when I don't do it because there's a long period of time where I didn't. And it was always sort of like this thing, a sort of monkey on my back, the sort of
Why'd you
um
take that break? Was it like for mental or you just
yeah, I had issues with alcohol and drugs.
mm, okay.
And so I wasn't really able to process pain. And so I found other ways to process it. Um, and
No,
so I've been sober um, over 27 years now.
congrats. If we had applause on the thing, then I would hit it right now. Congratulations. Nobody,
Well,
but that's crazy because that's another like I like segue. But I said that last interview. I said because I was telling Jessica since we didn't really okay, it's like musically I had a cool career, whatever. And then but like as far as acting, whatever, it was more kind of BG, so it was the background. So I kind of didn't like go. But obviously working in TV and film production, being behind the scenes, like PA and stuff, you get to see like the life and what it is. So I was telling her, I was like, I don't think whatever it is, whatever you believe in, like, I'm a big believer of the universe, whatever. I think they knew like at that time I wouldn't have been able to handle it because like I was so like dark and angry and stuff that I
mm,
probably would have went to drugs and I probably would have went like a whole different route.
I
So,
can't imagine you dark and angry.
oh, I had some anger issues. Like
Yeah.
this is growth. This is growth. And kids, because kids change it. So that did a lot for me. But
Yeah.
I was also gonna ask you, but since you started early, that question, so I was kind of explain to people like, do you feel it's a hard thing to join SAG or
It wasn't for me because I did it. I wasn't even a conscious decision. What actually happened was after I got sober and I like focused like my first year on just staying sober. And then after that first year, I was like, okay, now what? But the thing was that this was always the thing. This helped me get sober because it's what I've always wanted to do. I felt like it's something it's just a part of me and I had a vision and so when I I started going back to acting classes and um I'm sorry, my phone's blowing up. My father's in the hospital.
yes.
So my phone's been blowing up. I'm turning everything over. So I my parents never froze my SAG membership.
Yeah.
So when I contacted SAG, they were like, well, you can either pay the back dues or you can pay the entry fee. And at that time, I think it was like $1,700 or something. It was like it was both comparable. At that time, you weren't allowed to use a credit card.
Mm,
I was sort of like stuck in this between a rock and a hard place because I was still working in restaurants. I worked in restaurants and bars for years, sober, not sober. You know, I really enjoyed working with people and working on my feet, and the money's
yeah.
good. And so, but I was really like stuck because I couldn't really make the kind of money I needed to make to get into SAG. But I'm also technically SAG, so I can't really do non-union. So, I just actually I called him back and I explained the situation and said, I didn't make the conscious decision. It was my parents' fault. If you look at my age when I stopped paying dues, you'll see, I was a child. So they said, okay, listen, write us a letter. Membership meets once a month. We'll give you your number and, we'll let you know at the end of the month.
Yeah,
And at the end of the month, they waived everything. And they said, just pay the dues for this year and you're good.
that's great.
And yeah, so I've seen people get into SAG. I've seen people it took a long time. I think commercials are really good because commercials are an easier way to like get Taft-Hartley. But right
Mhm.
now, commercials are moving non-union, so it may not be as easy. I have a cousin he's like the first, he got in, he's like in his 60s, and he got waivers quicker than anyone I've ever seen in my life.
So
So
waivers expire though, right?
I don't know. I
Because
think
the funny thing is, I have two,
I don't think they expire. I think
or I
um
may
when
have
you
two.
become a must join, that expires. Like you have like a year to decide, I think.
No, I wasn't that. I got two because, being a PA, whatever, sometimes you're on set, whatever. And if you don't know, PA is production assistant, means you help everybody behind the cameras and stuff. But there would be some times that people wouldn't show up or they
Yeah.
miss whatever. So I had long dreads at the time and tattoos, so they were like, hey, you fit the criminal role that we need for the scene. So, and it was Law and Order. They were like, do you want to play a spot? So I would do it. So I had two, and then I took a break too, and then yeah, but I don't even know where that paperwork went. And I think someone told me that if I didn't, which was probably a lie, I don't know, you'll be able to tell me, but someone told me if I didn't have the paperwork, like if I didn't have the little copy, the little sheet, that then it was done. Like I couldn't do it no more. So I was like, oh well, doesn't matter because I don't have any no more. Then
I didn't even know you weren't in the union. I thought you were.
it was weird because I was so focused at music at the time that I wasn't
Mm,
really thinking about it. Like it was
yeah.
cool. It was cool that it was happening, especially if you're with a cool crew, they want to look out for you. Like, yo, Chance, we got you. Like,
Yeah.
so it was that, but it wasn't until after I think I did maybe two or three albums and I did like some shows. I was like, yo, I really kind of want to figure out like, because it's fun. At least it was stressful too, but it's fun to pretend or to play something that you're not. Like okay, this is by example. As a rapper, loosely, because whatever. But you can only, I mean, you can do whatever you want because I do whatever I want to do. But if I'm playing or if I'm supposed to be a gangster, but I do the soft, cool songs like LL, then they talk about you. Oh, well, he ain't really street or he ain't really hard because he's doing this. And then if you do that, then you get the Drakes and then, well, you're always singing and doing this. How you gonna put a tough song out? That's not you. But as an
Yeah.
actor, I can play whatever role I want, and you're not questioning who I am personally because I'm playing a character. And I always thought that was fascinating. And I've always been around it, so I wanted to try it. And that's when I got more serious. And I cut my hair because I was only getting the criminal roles, so
Yeah.
I wanted to do other stuff. But you know, that was that. But I was just curious if the waivers ever expire, or do you call them and they'll have it on file?
I don't know. I'll be honest, I don't know. I mean, in a lot of ways, I'm really blessed because I never really had to do non-union work. I never had to really, combat that. So, but you could always call SAC.
Well, I'm
There's
living
no
I'm living a different life right now, but you never
Yeah.
know. I mean, you never know because
There's
you're.
a lot of filming going on out there too now, isn't there?
I mean, we
It's all
this
over the country.
this might have been the universe pushing me here for a reason. So you never know. But man, your life is so fascinating. Like I don't even know where to go with it because I want to go one place, but I feel like that's like super fast forwarding, and then to hit the rewind button. But
You just
um,
ride the wave.
do you have like a specific like type of character you like to play? Like for instance, like rest in peace. Like Heath said, like playing Joker was really dark, and then oh man, I forgot Buddy's name now. But the guy that just played Dahmer,
Oh, yeah, no, I know.
he told me that. Well, he didn't tell me, but I read that he said it was really dark, and he wouldn't do that for a while. Like he's got to do like different projects. So I'm like, do you like to dig in that bag, or do you like playing different roles? Is there something that you like? Well, this is kind of where I like to be at.
You know, mostly I like being playing roles that pay me, to be
Yeah,
honest.
that makes sense.
But and for a while there, and I still get it. I get for some reason I get the what is it called? Like the hot mess mother. So
Mhm.
like that's been kind of my niche the past few years, where it's like she's usually like drunk or she's like addicted or that she's like the mother of like the kid who's, like my role in Law and Order. My son was the one who was like the murderer, like a lot of the auditions, I'm rough around the edges, right? And so
Is
and
that
then
hard to play for you because of your past?
no, I think it's funny. I don't see myself that way, but I guess it kind of comes through. My mother, even back when I was doing background, I always ended up getting put in like the bar scenes. And my
Yeah.
mother was always like, "Why did they put you in the bar?" I was like, "Because once you're drunk, you're always a drunk." Right? Like you just,
Yeah.
I don't know. I look like that. So I think as a smart actor, which I've learned is that you lean into what people see you as, right? And then, if you get to become known as something, that's and I've taken tons of classes with casting directors and a lot of them do talk about like, yes, you can be versatile, and I am a really versatile actor, but like it's okay. It's good in a lot of ways if they see you a certain way, because then when they have that part, like when the breakdowns come, your name pops into their head,
Yeah.
So that's like my old manager of mine really pushed me that way. He was like, we want them to see you like that. We want them to think of you when that comes out. You know,
Okay.
because the more you get to book work, then the more you'll have more opportunities to like maybe do other things, right?
Yeah, I see that part of it, but it doesn't hit you like, this is frustrating. Like for me, I was like, I like working, but you just keep on playing me as a gangster. Like, is that all you see from me?
No, no, and I totally get that. It's fun to play other roles.
Yeah.
I'm a big proponent of studying.
Hmm.
Like, I believe it's my craft,
Yeah.
and so even when I'm not working, um, I study. And so, actually, I for the past 8 years, right up until his passing, I was studying with Alan Savage, who's an incredible acting coach. He was teaching for 40 years. He taught so many people. He elevated my work to another level, and he was more than a teacher. He was a mentor and a friend. He was just a genius. He coached so many people. And actually even shared a clip. Rosaria Dawson used to study with him, and she had talked about how like his sort of technique and his way of addressing a script. He was a genius with the scripts, especially when you had an audition you couldn't figure it out. He would
Yeah.
just look. Um, and so, but it's what I love to do. So I'll do it. We even when I'm not getting paid to do, because I want to do it. So then I get to actually play some of the roles that I really want to play.
Hmm.
So I get to do classics, scripts. Um, I worked on a Streetcar Named Desire as Blanche for like months. That was another great thing about his class. We were able to like just keep bringing the scene in over and over,
Yeah.
and which allowed it to sort of open up, and you really get to be. That's where the art really comes in, as opposed to like doing a scene in class, doing it once, getting notes, and then never doing it again. And so like it was amazing. And so I got to do a lot of classic, and I worked on Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. So I like those classic roles. So, hopefully maybe someone will think of me for that one day.
So, question. I don't know if you want to answer. You could pass if you want to, but
Yeah.
you say you like studying, and everyone understand like do your craft. Like even like if you're doing music, like even like with podcasting, like I'll always be watching someone that is like on another level just to see, oh, what are they doing? Like what's their techniques, whatever like that. With the new age of people, like basically certain people getting gigs is because they have a huge following, like they've never acted, but social media has them at like 500,000 or whatever, and then they get roles. Do you feel like that's okay because they bypass like acting classes, or do you feel like no, they should go and do that, or you should do that?
I can't really tell other people what to do. I mean, I've had a lot of people ask me, I think, I know for the longest time, every time I dated somebody at one point during I was dating, they were like, I've always thought about being an actor. Um, uh, I think there's a difference between being a movie star and being an actor.
Yeah, I get that. Okay.
And so my first suggestion always is to take a class because what it looks like on the outside is not necessarily what it feels like on the inside. And if you've never like stood up in front of people or gotten on a stage or had cameras or had the pressure, you know, you don't know, right? I think
Mhm.
you don't really know. And so um I take it, I think, I mean, I went to Tisch. I went to college for it. I studied it. I continue to study it. All the great actors that I know continue to study. Um, it also like enhances community. You learn from other actors. So, I don't want to like badmouth anybody if that's how they got good for them, right?
Yeah, I
But
understand that.
I think for for you to be a really good actor, Alan used to say this all the time too. It looks easy because you're that good. It doesn't look like you're doing anything.
Yeah,
That's what it's supposed to look like, right? So, and to get to that point, or either, I've had teachers, him and my old teacher, George would say, I can't teach you talent. Either you have talent or you
mhm.
don't have talent, right?
Yeah,
I can teach you is honesty, how to be honest, because that's what this is about. It's about, being honest. So, you know,
that's good.
yeah,
That's a good tip.
nice.
Yeah, I like that. No, but I feel that too because I feel like I'm a personality. So I used to think, oh, I could do acting, like whatever. Obviously, this is before being behind stuff, but then you watch it and you see people. But even now, as being older, like when I watch certain movies or I'll see certain performances, I'm like, wow, I don't know if I could do all that. Like that's wild. You know what I mean? But I also like it because if you can dive deep into a character, like a la Will Smith with the famous father scene, like because I've had things happen to me in my life that have been crazy. So if I was to hit a role like that, and to actually go in there, because it's therapeutic.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean. So and then like with wrestling, because I'm a big wrestling person, content creator. Like the best character is the one that's close to home because you actually get to feel it. So.
Yeah.
But I do agree, like you should definitely do study the craft, study, take classes, because it's definitely not as easy as you may think it
No,
is.
and I think that people just because it's a different type of job, like, or because of what it is, people are like, "Oh, I can do that." And like, but no one says that about like a plumber. They were like, "I want to be a
Mhm.
plumber. I'm gonna start being a plumber and
Well, I think they see the glamorous part of
go to
it.
school."
I think they think it's all glamour.
Oh yeah, I know, and
But they don't know that there's 18-hour days. There's days where you're shooting in the snow, like no break, or if you're doing an indie and the budget's slow and you freezing to death, and like there's no hot coffee or hot cocoa. Like they don't know. And they don't even know that some people they've been on that journey for like 20 years and they still haven't necessarily got that role that they wanted.
yeah,
Even some people, which is obviously no shade, even some people like they stay on BG, like that's their
yeah,
role. Like
yeah.
I've had
That's,
background actors that said that. Like I love being a BG actor.
listen, you learn so much. It pays well. It goes into you, and when you're in the union, it goes towards your pension and your health insurance. A lot of people get their health. I used to get my health insurance,
Hmm.
combined with other things that, the roles that I played. That's, I used to do stand-in work. I stood in for a lot of actors, and, you learn so much about the industry and you become a part of it. So I think it's also a really good idea for people to do that who are thinking of starting out because, you know, I didn't have that kind of patience as a kid. That was part of the reason I wanted to leave. I mean, I was just like a principal. I was like the star of the commercial, and I could not deal with the long hours as a kid. So to see kids doing background work, and being so patient is amazing.
Yeah.
So, it's my husband before we got married, he too was like, I've always thought about acting. He had written a script, and my husband's a writer. He's a wonderful writer, and he's written a whole bunch of books. But he also wrote 13 episode pilot, really good pilot. And so he was thinking about becoming an actor, and I was not having it. I was not happy. I was like, there's only one actor in this family.
Yeah.
Um, And I was like, fine, and gave him books, and he started reading up all about, an actor prepares and Uda Hagen and all of that stuff. And so um he decided to make his own like mini, like mini short.
Mhm.
And he went and he filmed it that day, and he came home that night and he's like, I don't know how you do what you do. I never want to do this again.
It was the hours.
But
It was the
hours later,
hours.
I was like, oh, we should have just done this from the beginning. It would have
Yeah.
stopped us from fighting so much. And since then, I mean, he isn't one of my we have made a few he's my production partner.
Mhm.
So we have a production company together, and he's my crew, he's my biggest fan. He's my life, he's my heart. And so we
I would
did
hit the applause again for that because
yeah, he's the
that's
best. He's
important
the
in life.
best.
Yeah.
Um and so we and we've been through a lot together. We've been through a lot. And during the pandemic, he was thinking also, he was like, listen, if we can't get somebody to watch like a half an hour film, maybe we can get them to watch a 5 minute film. And so he wrote these micro shorts that he's like, you have all these really talented friends, and I have ideas. And so we made a bunch of micro shorts where um, like my friend Jen Johnson, who's been in like now three of my films, she's in the film. It's all set black and white, very old time like silent movie.
Hmm.
Um, and so he wrote it, he directed it, and then I did everything else. And we did it in our apartment. So I was like HMU, scenic, crafty, first AD. And he has a little cameo in that, which is very cute. But so yeah,
See,
I don't know.
it's times like that, like you're saying, it's times like that that I wish I was still in New York.
Why? Why
Because
you can't do it in Vegas?
it's to me, it's always fun and better like when you're starting to do something like you have your crew like oh like I know Jeanine, so like she's got this project, I really want to try it, I really want to do it because I know she's good at it, so I want to go there, and then you can do it.
Yeah,
Vegas, I mean Vegas, it might happen, but it's just I'm not even in that world no more to know that. But like I said, this is always fun. At least I like doing things with the people I love, like I rock with. You know what I mean? So that would be fun. So I'm like, oh shoot, she got a project. I'm gonna try out for it.
yeah,
But
yeah,
like like what he said, like he wants to do the 5 minute things because he feels like, well, the attention span isn't here for this. Boom. Because I don't know if you know, but I wrote two books, comic novels,
Oh,
right?
I didn't know. We have like he's a huge graphic novel guy. We have graphic novels all
All right,
over
so
the place.
then we got to talk outside of the interview. But like, because we have the Marvel Geeked Out channel. If you guys don't know, you can go there too. Marvel Geeked Out. We talked about TV shows, all that good stuff. But we were tired of always saying, "Oh, it's Superman, Batman, like Daredevil, like they're cool. We love them, but there's nobody new. They're just
Yeah,
they just keep on being recycled."
yeah,
So we wanted to do something like a different city. We did it in Miami, and then like totally different characters. Like you've never heard of them before. Obviously, some of them are highly inspired by certain people, but it was totally different. So I co-wrote the first one with my friend, and then the second one I wrote, and it's basically like in Atlanta, or whatever. Anywho, long story short, I think they're cool, but a lot of people don't really read anymore. So I always thought, which you have to know people, I was like, if I knew someone that could actually draw or whatever, and we can make this like a thing for like Amazon Prime or something, if there were like 30-minute episodes of animation, I know people will love these characters. But since it's written and people don't really read like that no more, it's so much harder for people to fall in love with it or to even get it. But and then they're like comic novels, so they don't really have pictures and stuff. So that's another thing. Is like, oh, they got to really read.
yeah, 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 yeah. You gotta.
And then the first one is crazy, which is funny because the first one I wrote it like not like sides, but I wrote it like you're reading a script. So it
Oh,
it
wow.
comes off like that. And then the second one, I kind of did more of a novelish thing because the feedback I would get, some people really loved that kind of style,
Okay.
and other people were like, I kind of wish you just wrote it regular so we could just kind of read it. And I was like, all
Mm,
right, cool. I'll see that. So I'll try with this one.
okay.
But yeah, that was always my thing. I was like, well, if I could just get a little 30-minute clips of animation, it'll probably take off. But it is
You
what it
can
is.
you draw that.
So
You
I
can
don't know.
get some. What are the characters?
So my character, because I'm in it too, and I don't think it's a spoiler. And if it is, who cares? If you like it, I'm using go check it out. But my character's name is Chance. Um, he gets his powers. It was inspired by the pandemic. So there's this thing going on in the world. Nobody knows what it is. The government says you have to like take the vaccine, like you have to.
Mhm.
So, or whatever we call it. I don't remember what we called it, but you have to take it. Some people that took it, if it was in you, like it triggered your DNA and then you would get your powers. If you took it and you didn't have anything in your DNA, then you were just it didn't matter. You just took the shot. That was it. You're regular. So my guy finds out because I think this is kind of an intro, so it doesn't matter. But my guy finds out because I'm having a little nice little intimate scene with my woman, and then all of a sudden I kind of like bite her neck and I kill her because like my powers is vampire-ish. So, but I don't know it. I don't know it, so I don't know how to control it. So I end up killing her. So then this puts him down a whole different spiral of like some like Logan from like Wolverine. Like
Yeah.
he's so like distraught and like traumatized that he just turns into an asshole. Like straight like drinking whiskey all the time. Like just doesn't give a shit. And his powers are pretty much like he has healing abilities and like a vampire. So he can kind of like not teleport, but kind of like zoom zoom a little bit.
Yeah.
But you know, he has long black hair, and then when he turns into his little character, like it turns blonde, and then his eyes like get red.
So cool. You need to make this. You need to have someone draw this. You need to find an illustrator. Everybody listening, we need an illustrator.
Yeah, so I mean, you know, if it's meant to be, it'll be. But you know, I think if you saw them as animation, I think it makes it totally different, and it makes it look really cool.
Animation's huge now. I
Yeah.
mean,
So again, if it's meant to be and the universe wants it, then we'll get there. But I don't want to take it's not about me. You. So,
well,
um,
to address your thing about working with people, I will say it was my husband years ago when we were dating, because he's also a musician. He kept saying to me, "Make your own work, make your own art. Stop waiting for someone to give you a job." And I kind of huffed and puffed and dragged my feet, and then I was finally like, "Fine." And this, so we'll make a little clip, and this little clip we ended up doing like a Kickstarter campaign, made like 150% of what we asked for, and I ended up like hiring a whole bunch of friends, and that's when I did my first film. And I just learned so much about what
is that
film.
anywhere that people can see?
That's on Amazon. That's called customer hashtag 935.
All right,
It is
yeah.
also a comedy. I've written and produced and starred in three short films. Customer 935 on Amazon. There's another one that's a two-hander. It's a mother and daughter. It's a drama. It's called Reservations. And then the third one is Emma Z. And
So
then
I'll
our
put all
micro,
I would say I'll put all this in the description box with the video afterwards.
yeah, the Customer 935 is on Amazon. The other ones are on Indie Theater Network.
Okay.
Um, and when I write, to keep I try to remember, production value, and just so this like the second film is just a conversation in a car,
Yeah.
right? It's a short film, but yeah, so and I learned a lot, and it's really wonderful to work with people. And then you also learn, like, do I want to work with these people again? It depends.
So,
That happens too. But for the most part, yeah. And so
yeah. Because
and
unfortunately, some people are not
yeah,
pleasant.
yeah. So but he's really pushed me for that. And so it's great to be able to work with your friends and to work with people, because you do this and then you have so many talented friends. I mean, I have wonderfully talented friends. So
Definitely.
I want to
When
share the wealth, man.
when you're focused, how long do you think it usually takes you to write?
You know what? I got to tell you, I haven't written in a long time. I just started writing again, and I've just been really struggling. I've been having a hard time writing. I mean, what really sort of like started my writing was I did a 24-hour play festival years ago, like a million years ago, because I was catering at the time, and the night of the performances, I had a job. So I was like, so I went to this meeting, and instead of being an actor, I said I would be one of the writers. And I don't know if you've ever done a 24-hour play festival, but what happens is you all sit in a room, and then all the playwrights have to, like, they usually like pick it out of a hat. People write stuff down, they pick it out of the hat, and so everyone has to use the same line, and they all have to use like with the same prop. and then like something else, right? And so that it's completely just, it has to, every single script has to have either that starting line, that prop you use, and another line in it.
Mm.
And you have 24 hours less to put the play up. So you go home and you write the play and then you send it. And for some reason that's actually, and I my first time I won the competition.
Wow.
Yeah. And so, and then I did it again and then I came in second place. So then I started leaning more, which was funny because at that point in my career, I couldn't get arrested. Like I was doing like small off Broadway like shows, but I could not get, I had a manager, but I was not getting any auditions. And I was writing a lot. And so I was like, you know what, maybe I just need a regular job. I was thinking of going to Wall Street because my dad had worked on Wall Street and I knew someone who worked down in commodities. I was like, maybe I'll get a job as a page and I'll just write. And I was taking a writing class at the time. And that's when I, out of nowhere, when you're ready to quit the business, that's the way to get a
Mhm.
job. You either quit the
Yeah.
business or book a
Oh,
non-refundable
oh,
trip.
you're done. You're done.
And that is when I got the call for The Sopranos. And that was my first day player role.
I've never
And
watched that.
it's a great show. It was
I've
a great
heard.
experience. I
I've
worked
seen
with
like I've seen like
finalists.
certain episodes, but not
Yeah.
not of it.
Yeah. And so I booked that. I was, and I got sucked right back in, man.
So when you think you're gone, they pull you
And that
back.
was like a pretty incredible because it was all of them. It was Jimmy and Stevie Van Zandt and all of them. We were in Atlantic City. I played a blackjack dealer.
That's gotta be fun.
That
Nice.
was fun. They put us up at the Borgata. It was beautiful.
It's always fun when you get put up somewhere.
And they're such a nice crew. Like you
Yeah.
can't HBO and The Sopranos, amazing.
HBO is dope because I think I did Boardwalk Empire.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah. Same guys, right? Tim Van
yeah,
Patten did it. He was just
and they were
love.
dope.
Really, really nice group of people. So
So you
that's
say you did off Broadway. You didn't do on?
no, I didn't do on Broadway. I didn't technically do off Broadway. It was more like off, kind of like small things, small theaters around New York. So
What do you prefer? Off or
listen, I would love to be on Broadway. I'd love to be off Broadway. I'd love to be back on stage. It's hard to make a living as an actor on stage. I'm in equity, but the contracts, it's hard. So, and right now I haven't really been submitted. Mostly I get submitted for film and television. And so, I froze my equity membership during the pandemic and I'm getting ready to unfreeze it so that I can start going open calls at equity.
yeah, Broadway scares me.
Broadway would be amazing. I've stood
I,
on a few stages when I went to visit some friends who were on Broadway. I have a lot of friends who've been on Broadway or Broadway tours. I have
that's
a
like,
friend going to be in the new George Clooney, Good Night and Good Luck.
mm,
My friend Yeagle, who's in one of my films, played Tom Robinson in the national tour up to Kill a Mockingbird.
nice. We're
So
gonna have to network. I'm gonna have to meet these people, interview them.
yeah, yeah, no, they're wonderful, wonderful, kind people, and really super talented. So.
Like yeah, like it always scares because it's live. So it's like everything's there. Reactions there, mess ups there, like everything's there.
There's nothing like live theater. I mean, that's how I started. I mean, I was trained in the theater, did tons. I loved doing musicals when I was a kid. I haven't really
Oh, that's even
sang.
scarier. Gotta
If I
sing.
could, if I could do musicals again, I'd be so happy. I would love to musicals. I
Oh,
I grew up going to shows. My parents took me to shows all the time. We only lived about a half an hour outside the city, so
put it
I
out there.
saw
Let's claim it.
everything.
Let's claim it. She's going back to musicals.
Right. I need some serious voice lessons and some dance lessons. So I'm back again. But yeah,
So
so there's nothing like the live theater. It's amazing.
I've only seen one play in my life, and it was in New York. So maybe you've seen it. You ever seen? I think it's Frankenstein.
No, I haven't.
I could be butchering the name, but I think that's what it was. But me and my mom went to see it, and it was fascinating to me because, and you probably know, they probably do this in other places, but like, so this to like, let's say Monday, everyone plays this character. Then Tuesday, everyone plays a different character, and then Wednesday, yeah, that was so amazing to me because you have to know everyone's lines. That is, I can't remember my rap lyrics. Like, you have to remember everyone's lines, and you have to like know how to like act them out, like,
Yep.
which is
Yeah.
fascinating. It's fascinating. which is scary too.
That's actually also the funny, that's the question you get a lot from people who aren't in the business when they're like, "You're an actor, isn't it hard to memorize the lines?" And I'm like, "That's not the hardest part. Like, that's not actually the hardest part of it. The hardest part is like making it believable, I think,
How
right?
did you get good at that though?
You get good at it. You get used to it, right?
It's just a brain muscle that just
It's a brain muscle, and it's in certain ways, certain things help me do it better than and other people have other ways of doing it. When I rehearse with somebody else, it just makes it easier. That's my easiest way to like memorize lines, than to just do it by myself. But I know
okay.
people have been using ear pods now because everything is self-tape at home,
They
really.
they're cheating.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not on stage,
Oh,
but
okay.
in like rehearsals or like
Hmm.
there are apps that just can keep playing the lines for you,
That is
and
crazy.
or even on auditions, you can like have them in your ear. I tried that once because I had two 6-page auditions for the same project, independent project, and so I mean 6 pages each, and so I, I can't memorize all this.
See, that's scaring me now. Like, whoa.
Yeah. I mean, you can use now with all the rules, you don't have to memorize, but I try to memorize as much as possible because then I feel like I'm just a better actor.
All right, so scenario. So you land a episode on Law and Order, right?
Yeah.
Boom, you're in the episode.
Yeah.
When do you start practicing? Like, when do you start doing your lines? And like, when you feel like you have it like, okay, I'm good.
Well, honestly feel like that scene, I had, I had the lines down during the audition. Like I already, it was a self-tape. It was home. It was during the pandemic. I, I memorized for my auditions, as much as possible.
Mm,
So, and especially something of that caliber, I memorized that.
yeah.
I'm wearing contacts right now. So like another teacher of mine, Gary Perez, is said like if you don't have to use readers, you go into an audition, I mean he's like you memorize the lines, or you get reading contacts. So um but for me to do my best work, it's to commit it to memory. So then I don't have to worry about looking at the lines. So I had already memorized them by the time I had done the audition. No, there weren't a ton of lines. I mean, it was a nice size scene, but I mean, it was easy enough to memorize. So for the most part, like I have an audition that I'm going to tape in a few days. I'm going to rehearse with a friend tomorrow. Um, I'll be off book probably within the next day or two.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I said this was gonna happen. I said we're gonna talk and it was gonna be smooth and we're gonna like
Yeah.
forget things. So I don't want to forget things before we cut off. How did Severance come about?
It was
And I saw the meme, by the way.
did you see the way it
Yeah.
was
But that means you made it. That means you're
I
going.
thought that was hilarious. I was so
Yeah.
happy that happened, and I made a little comment, and they commented back. It was funny. So no, please bring it on. That's fine. I thought, you gotta, it was really, really funny. It was an audition, and I really honestly didn't think I was gonna get it. It was just a few lines. It was very general. They just said women 40s. Um, I, uh, I I was getting a lot of it was right before it was like 2 months before the strike, 2, 3 months before the strike. It was April, beginning of April, end of March 2023. And I taped it with a friend of mine, and then when I have like really short auditions, I like to give them options because some casting directors like that, and because they're not in the room to redirect you, so I
Hmm.
like to give them something, maybe something contrasting. So then a friend of mine had come over that day later to pick up something, and I was like, "Hey, can you redo this? Can you do a few other takes with me?" And I sent them 3 takes because it's like I said, it was just short. Um, Now, the next day, I got an availability check. It happened so fast. Now, I wasn't watching Severance at the time, and uh, within like I want to say within like 36 hours, like my manager was like, You're an availability check," and I was like, "Okay," and then like a few hours later, he was like, "You're booked," and I was like, "Okay, great," and so I went. And I looked at the character's name that I'm talking to, and I looked it up, but I didn't see it. I didn't see the name in the show. So I assumed, okay, this must be just some sort of guest star, right? Like, that's a guest star like that's not in the show yet.
Yeah.
When I got the actual when they resent me the sides, which were the same lines, but the names had changed. I think it was like the day before.
Mm.
That's when I was like, "Oh my God, my scene is with Patricia Arquette."
Yeah.
Like that blew my mind. Like you don't get better than having your partner be Patricia Arquette. So, and let me tell you, like, she's so kind and so generous and such a wonderful acting partner and just person to work with. All of them were. Ben Stiller directed the episode. He was lovely. Jen Tollick's in the scene. She's amazing. I started watching the show immediately.
Yeah. You know what's
And
funny is before well, first off, congrats on that. Second, I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone's amazing, especially you. So make sure you give yourself some little credit. But I actually read before we started shooting that Ben said, I guess because of the strike and stuff, that's why it took so long to come back. And he was like, "We're not going to take that long this time.
yeah, yeah, no, 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 no.
We're going to be ready."
I was surprised they had invited me to the rap party, so I went to the rap party last year, and it was in April or May 2024. And I ran into one of the casting directors, and she said, "What year are you in?" And it's like, "What year am I in?" She said, "Oh, we filmed it in 22, 23, and 24. That season
Mm,
shot within 3 years." Because
wow.
you all have to remember, like, there's a writer strike, but then there's the fires in Canada. And remember though, the sky, I don't know if you haven't, when did you move?
From New York?
Yeah.
Oh, we're talking
Okay.
2020, something like that. No,
Oh,
like, no,
so
I'm
last
lying. Like,
year,
like probably
before the
like
pandemic,
17.
so there were fires in Canada that turned the skies
I
orange.
have a picture of it. Yeah. As it's so,
So that whole show is like cold and blue.
mhm, yeah.
And because of the strike, like the writer strike, you know, they weren't able to, they were probably trying to do more exterior shots, location shots, but they couldn't with the sky.
Hmm.
Um, and so, I mean, that happened. So the writer strike happened right after I shot my episode. We shot that in New Paltz.
Okay.
Um, they do a lot of shooting upstate. So
Okay.
it happened so quickly. It was really exciting. And I had no idea it was gonna like I knew it was a big deal. Everyone like loved the show. Like it was sort of like that show. Everyone's just like, oh my God, Severance is such a like hot show. But what it is now is like, and it's so good this season. So if anyone hasn't watched it yet, you have to watch.
Yeah, make
Like
sure you check it out.
season two is absolutely amazing. And tonight is actually the season finale. So after we do this, I'm gonna go watch the season finale, which is really exciting. And my friend Eric is in it as well. He plays the Watcher, who is just in 2 episodes.
I
And
should
then
look
I had
out there.
friends on set there, which was nice. So it was, and it was great. It was a really fun, great experience. What
So,
I wanted, go
go ahead.
ahead.
No, no, you go ahead.
Oh, and then like the 2 years prior to that is when I did the Mad Marla thing on Candlewood, which also dropped this week on
Oh, okay. I was gonna get there. So, Severance,
okay.
real quick.
Okay,
Is
go
it
for it.
a spoiler if are you coming back, or we can't answer that?
I don't listen, I would love to come back.
Yeah.
Nobody has asked me to come back.
Okay.
Of course I would love to come back. I would not presume that I'm gonna be back.
Okay.
With the nature of the show, I don't know. And then I would
I
love
mean, the meme goes viral. We got to bring you back.
that.
You know what I mean?
Um, from your lips to God's ears, let's hope, right? So
Yes,
that would be wonderful
hey,
because
let's go. Make it happen.
really just an amazing group of people and an incredible show. And to be on something that's written so well, produced so well with such, and the DP is fantastic, and it's a woman DP. I always love
Yeah, I
watching
love that too. Yeah.
these. That always makes me so happy. And
I'm
my
so
scene in particular, like because I was shooting at it, I couldn't see what she saw. It's lit so well. Like it's
yeah.
just so beautiful. She really is a genius. So I mean, I'm really got it was really honestly an honor to be like in the presence and to work with these like giant talents. And they were all beyond kind and generous. Like they're just very cool, very nice, just lovely people. So I would, of course, love to come back. So.
Yeah. I love what you said because I have a son, but I'm also like a girl dad, two girls. So I'm all for the girl power. Like I love seeing women in power. This is so great. All right, so let's get to Mad Marley real quick. How did that happen?
Mad Marla happened because right before the pandemic, I did a short film called Jack and Astoria, for a friend of mine who wrote it, and the DP on it, and I bonded, or and a few years later, I get a message on Facebook saying, "Hey, I wrote this script. We're having a really hard time casting this character. Sorry, I didn't think of you before. Would you mind taking a look at it?" And I was like, Thank you," which is really weird because like that week I was like, God, I wish someone would just reach out and just offer me a part. I don't feel like auditioning anymore.
You called the universe and the universe answered.
Like, bam. It happened within like a day. And so he's like, "Do you mind putting yourself on tape for the producers?" Now, what I did was not as um extreme
Mhm.
as I am in the actual film. The film changed hands, and Joe ended up not being a part of it anymore. He was one of the creators. I didn't realize that at the time when I shot, but but I brought the scene to class. I worked on it with Alan. I worked on it with people in class. We taped the thing, and they were like, perfect. They were just really having a hard time finding Mad Marla. She was just supposed to be this sort of crazy like woman who'd been sort
I
of.
think you look great from what I saw.
Thank you. I was actually, I have to tell you, never done any kind of like horror psychological thriller before, but to be able to like to be that unattractive on camera, there
Yeah.
was such they like stained my teeth.
Hmm.
Like there's a freedom in that, like that I never really had experienced before. And I was also remember standing there looking at, oh, see, talk about a hot mess mother, right? Like looking at all the mess and thinking, like personally for me, that I had come such a long way, that I was comfortable enough that I didn't have to look pretty,
Yeah.
that I could actually just look like that and be secure in myself. And so, because there's a time then I wouldn't have been able to be like that.
I
I
was
would
gonna
have been,
ask you. I
and
was
I
gonna
was
ask
like,
you if
oh,
this was. I was gonna ask you if this was early you. Would you have passed?
I don't know, I don't know if I would have passed, but I don't know if I would have been as um like free with the like HMU. She was wonderful, and she was like, and I told her, I said, do what you need to do. Like, let's
Yeah.
go for it. Let's just have fun with this, and whatever your vision is. And so, I don't think I would have. I think I would have been a little more upset, maybe. I think I would have still done it, but I think I would have been a little more I don't know, uncomfortable is probably a
Yeah.
better with being so unattractive.
Okay.
And or I don't know. In my opinion, some people might find that attractive. And it's fun to, when I showed up at the screening because they had a private screening in the big January 2024, nobody knew who I was except for the cast because I don't look, people were
Yeah.
like, so that was fun. And that's also fun that they didn't recognize me, so that's good. Because
Yeah.
I didn't want them to be like, hey. And that's another little film that Blake is really doing well. So, you know, and that took years. I think I shot that in 2022. Maybe at the end of 2022.
So
Um,
crazy how long it takes for things to come out.
Yeah, it's insane. What I'm going to tell you was really interesting is when I was watching Severance, as an actor, it's hard to watch yourself, right? Sometimes you're like, oh, I don't like the way my face looks. I don't like that this looks, that other. What I didn't know at the time and found out 2 months later was that I had kidney cancer.
Oh,
So I was filming. So I we filmed that, and in May we went to LA to San Diego to visit my sister, and then LA to visit friends, um and I had I used to smoke, so I scheduled a preventative lung scan to just make sure my lungs were okay, and I had it scheduled before the LA trip, and then I was like worried that maybe I wouldn't get great news, so I said let me just do it when we get back. And so when we got back, I had my lung scan in June or like end of May, and they were like, you know, your lung's fine, but there's something at the bottom of the scan, and we want you to do an abdominal CT. Now that week, I had also gotten I'd done like my yearly wellness test, and
Mhm.
all my numbers, as my doctor said, were perfect, like perfect. She's like, great, you're in great health. She said, just go in, let's see what the thing is. So I went in, not thinking anything of it. Went a week later, got the abdominal CT. 3 hours later, my doctor calls me and she's like, there's a 10 centimeter mass on your right kidney. And we think it's malignant and it's going to have to be removed. And part, if not all of your right kidney is going to have to be removed. And in 2 weeks later, I was on the table at New York Presbyterian getting my right kidney removed, open surgery, and getting the tumor removed. So I had cancer for a while, for like a long time, and not because it was stage 2, and had no idea. So everybody, this is, and I tell the story because it's important to get your scans. So I'm just telling everybody, get those scans.
But
Um,
you're okay now.
I'm okay. Like I said, I was in the hospital for about 5 days. It happened right before the strike, so there was like a divine order to all of it. I felt
Mhm.
very protected. They're really lucky they found it when they found it. It was completely contained. I didn't have to do radiation or chemo or anything like that. It was the most painful thing because they cut, right across my abdomen. And I'm not a big person. I'm a little person. Scar's about this big. My
Yeah.
husband's sexy, so that's cool. And and we live in a 4 floor walk up. So I was like, how am I going to get up the stairs? And my tribe, my community, I came home to a home full of flowers. Like the entire living room was full of flowers from family and friends, and people set up meals, and my husband took care of me while I recovered. And then as I slowly started to get better, since the doctors wanted me to walk and I wanted to be active, I would do like little I took, it grew in increments. I would go to the strike line and I
Yeah.
would go for like a half an
Oh, I
hour.
do remember seeing that when you used to post it.
I go a little bit at a time. And then it was
Yeah.
also, and just, the picket line was actually it was really joyful, actually. It was really actually as hard as it was a joyful experience. We really all lifted each other up. And so I am fine. I'm cancer free over, it'll be 2 years in June, knock wood. Uh,
Yes.
my doctors say I'm doing great. I have my one kidney. I call it Kira after Kira Sedgwick because Kira Sedgwick is like a powerhouse and small and like scrappy and
Hmm.
tough. And that's what my kidney is. So
Well, I'm glad you're okay. That
thank you.
you took
So,
you took my emotion somewhere else. Oh,
oh, okay.
oh man.
I
Oh
told you I
no.
have a surprise for you. Not everybody knows that.
I'm not I can't cry. So
Oh, did you really?
I don't know, I was almost there. I was like, oh my God. Okay.
Yeah.
But yes,
Mhm.
I'm glad you're okay. Um, yes, so it's important. Get y'all checkups, people. Like go to the doctor. It's okay. Um, I think about that now too, though. Being 45, I think about that. I'm like, oh, so there's things I gotta go check. So that's very important for people to know.
Right? It's important. You know.
So let me ask you a couple quick questions so I can get you out of here because I think it's yeah, an hour hit quick. So I know you got things to do, and it's later on your side of town. Um, one, do you prefer corrections when you're doing um when you're doing an audition or not?
What do you mean, like to
Like
be
if you do a tape and
yeah.
then they correct, they're like, hey, we want to see this, or we'd rather see you do this. Do you prefer that, or do you just like it when you send it and then it's either yes or no?
Um, I like, if they like, because, I like having feedback and being given the opportunity to like to be able to like meet the moment, so to speak.
Mhm.
So like if someone says that's great, whatever, but can you try it this way? And to be able to do it in another way and also show them that I am capable of that. Yeah, you know. So because that's the thing when you're auditioning by yourself. You have to really be your own director.
Hmm.
Mm. So I don't know what they're thinking. I mean, it's important I make a choice. I may
Yeah.
not always make the right choice, but as long as I make that choice and I, commit to it, um, giving if it's not the right choice, I would rather them tell me and say, listen, can you try it another way? Right.
Yeah, that makes sense. Um, what was my second question? Oh, do you find it hard to leave a character like once you're done, or does part of it go with you?
I think they all kind of go with you. I think when you're doing a play, it's more like that, or if you're doing like, and I haven't had this opportunity, but if like you are playing a character and you're in a series or you're shooting a movie for a long period of time, um, I think the longer you spend time in that person's shoes, the harder it is to sort of leave them. I
Yeah.
do remember having a theater like experience in theater more than anything, where like she had different characters that become a part of me. And sometimes I would answer in their voice, like when I wasn't, wasn't on stage. Um, but there are I think there are just certain characters or like certain roles that you just always kind of keep with you. Um,
Yeah. With family and friends, do you have to tell them like, hey, I just need a couple of days, like to kind of decompress, or do you just keep on going?
as far as
Like when you're trying to like separate from the character, like when you're done, do
and
you like need time away like from like your family and friends for a little bit, or do you just keep on going with life?
I think, listen, life's life and life is
I,
life and
I about to say life's going life.
life is little life. So like you got to just kind of roll with it. But what I will say is that like in this house, we're really honest with each other. And if we need time to like step away, um, no one takes anything personally. It's like I just need some like alone
Yeah.
time, and I'll
Honesty
just
is important. Honesty is important.
yeah. So like yeah, there are times it depends on the role. Like if the role's really depleting,
Hmm.
and I need to take a break, I'll take that break. I'm one of the lessons I learned after getting sick a few years ago was about setting boundaries and self-care and prioritizing like my health emotionally and physically.
You gotta take
And
care of your engine.
that's it, right? Like I used to have a sponsor that would say to me, you know, "Ta- taking care of you is that's your job. Like that's your job is to take care of you. I always thought my job was to take care of everybody else. I didn't realize my job is to take care of me.
Yeah.
Like that's your job. I was like, oh, so I have to remember that. So yeah.
Yeah. If you don't take care of your engine, it blows up. Then you ain't got to worry about anything no more.
All right. No. No.
Do you prefer writing, directing, or acting?
I prefer acting. And I don't actually direct.
Mm.
I've produced, I've
Do you
written.
want to?
No,
No.
no. I kind of like I love the collaboration. I
Hmm.
love writing something and then having somebody else see it in a way that and hear it in a way that I didn't even think of.
Okay.
Um,
So sorry. I don't, just in case people don't know, what is producing?
it's I guess oh gosh, it's
Because I'm pretty sure people see it like produced
I
by.
feel like it's everything. It all depends. It all depends on different types of producers, but like when I produce my film, it's that I get the casting together, I get the funds together, we get the location. It's building the team. It's scouting the location. It's making the call sheets and the timing. Like if it was a big production, there'd be different jobs. But as far as producing is concerned, it's making it's the money and it's and it's organizing all of it. You
Yeah.
know, I just feel like there's so many different types of producers and there's different like hats. So like when I produce, it's that I'm putting this up. It's like I'm
Hmm.
putting up the show. So I'm in charge
It's
of
like your name.
yeah. So I'm in charge of who is going to be and the timing and all of that stuff. So
Yeah, I just wanted you to say that because I don't know. Like some people might think like maybe a director is higher than the producer. Like they don't really know, like what they mean.
it depends. Sometimes, it depends on the name of the director or anything. I mean, I'm even kind of like, I don't even know how to explain producing, like, right? But
Yeah.
it's being able to get everything you need for that production to get made,
Yeah.
right? That includes, the cast and all of the things that come with all those things. So, um, you know, that's
Uh,
my experience. So I,
All right. So lastly, with that, is there some point you think in your career where you're just gonna, all right, so acting, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm just gonna focus on writing and producing, or are you just gonna keep on doing everything until that's it?
I would love to just continue to do everything. I just feel like the muse, like I said, I haven't written in a while, and I think sometimes the muse just sort of takes different channels,
Yeah.
and so like that's how art is. And so um I hope to be a working actor to the day I die. So I have no plans on retirement. No.
We
Um,
started from Johnson & Johnson, baby.
Johnson Johnson and out to the grave.
All right, so this is how we usually end the interview. I do a rapid four questions. If you want to pass, you can pass. You don't have to answer it. But first thing that comes to your mind when I ask. So first thing is, if you weren't doing what you're doing now, what would you be doing?
I've always been interested in archaeology.
That's nice. I like that one. I don't think anyone's ever said that before, definitely. Um, who inspires you?
My husband,
Beautiful. That's beautiful. I like that one. Um, favorite curse word?
motherfucker.
It's usually the last part that people love, but I like that one. You put it together. You compounded. And lastly, if you had any superhero power, what would it be?
Damn. Um, I think I would, I'd say maybe to read people's minds, but
Mm,
think that would just trip me
that'd
out.
be heartbreaking.
That would give me agita. Um, I think it would, oh gosh, um, to, I don't know, like make the world a better place.
I like
Is
it.
that a superpower? Like to
Make it. It should be.
turn, to turn all like hatred and evil into love.
I like that one. I love it.
That would be my superpower.
It's
I mean,
perfect.
we need a lot of that right now, I think.
Definitely. Definitely do. Well, obviously this has been fun, and I cut it short because we were going, and I feel like we could have kept going,
We could have
but
talked all night.
yeah,
Oh
but
man.
you're like an hour and 15 minutes in, so I know you got stuff to do. But obviously it's been a pleasure. And hey, if you want to come back, we can definitely do some more, especially when you got some more stuff going on. But I'll definitely put in the description box. I'm gonna have you text it to me, but I'm gonna put where everything is, all your projects, like what site they're on, so they can check it out. Um, and obviously your Instagram, if you want them to follow you, or wherever you want them to follow you, we'll do that. But it's been a pleasure.
It's been wonderful to see you,
So
my friend. I thank you.
tell the people whatever you want to say before we go, and we're
Um,
done.
just don't give up. If you have a dream, don't give up. It's all about life's hard. Try to find the joy in every moment you can, and you know, go where it's warm. And thank you
Okay,
for being so warm tonight. I appreciate it.
I love that. Go where it's warm.
Where it's
That's
warm.
amazing. That's perfect. Be yourself. Be.
Tuned in.
2. Geeked Out. Same pod. Same squad.